Well, something is up. Right now, there is a cascade of resignations happening from prime ministers and presidents all across the globe. Now, this is leaving many people with the lingering thought, what on earth is going on? And is there a link to these resignations? Well, I do believe there is more to the story. But as a quick reminder, check out my partner at preparewithlisa.com. If you don't have food storage, now is the time to get that, especially in light of what is going on with our economy. Please protect your family from disaster by going to preparewithlisa.com. And right now, you can save $150 on 3 months emergency food supply kit. Protect your family. Go to preparewithlisa.com today. All right. With that, let's dive into some of these resignations that are happening across the globe. For starters, let's go on over to Boris Johnson. Check out this article on CNBC.com. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigns. It states, Johnson's resignation comes after a 48-hour period of immense pressure to step down. A growing wave of resignations from within Johnson's own ruling party since Tuesday evening approached 60 by Thursday morning, with one Conservative Party member after another publicly voicing their lack of confidence in the Prime Minister. Finance Minister Nadeem was the latest of Johnson's allies to urge him to go now, saying the unprecedented political crisis over his future was not sustainable and would, quote, only get worse. Now, Boris Johnson and his cabinet members were not the only resignations. Take a look at this article on BBC.com. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi offers resignation after coalition falls apart. It goes on, Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi has tendered his resignation after populist coalition partner Five Star withdrew its support in a confidence vote. The former head of the European Central Bank has led a unity government since February 2021. In a statement, he said the pact of trust that had sustained the unity government had gone. So here we have two prime ministers, Boris Johnson and Mario Draghi, who have both resigned. But again, they're not alone. Take a look at what happened in Sri Lanka. Here's Reuters.com. Sri Lanka's president resigns hours after fleeing. And not just the president. Take a look at CNN.com. Sri Lanka's prime minister resigns amid protest over economic crisis. Now we have one president and 3 prime ministers. But guess what? That's not all. Here's another one, and this is on Euroactiv.com. Estonia's prime minister resigns in push for new government. It goes on, Prime Minister Kaja Kallas officially informed the government of her decision to resign as she wants to form a new government coalition. Kallas, who heads the center-right Reform Party, proposed to convene an extraordinary sitting of the parliament on Friday, where she is to ask for a mandate for her new government coalition with conservative ISMA and opposition Social Democratic Party. Quote, I will form a new government according to the Constitution. I just announced that the current government will resign, she explained in her Twitter post. As it sits, we have 4 prime ministers who have resigned and 1 president who has resigned. Now, a lot of these resignations have come as a result of citizens within their area or country not being happy with the policies that are in place. Many of those policies being the Green New Deal. But I digress. Here's an interesting fact about all of it. On top of those 5 resignations, we also have poll numbers dropping for other leaders across the globe. Let's start first with Justin Trudeau. Take a look at BreitbartNews.com. Justin Trudeau tanks in the polls with both supporters and opponents of Freedom Convoy. And not just Justin Trudeau, right here in the United States, Biden's numbers have been dropping massively. Take a look here at NewYorkPost.com. Biden's approval rating caters to 30% after a brutal week, according to a poll. Now, not only are many many of our leaders' poll numbers are dropping, but even Emmanuel Macron got booed. Take a look at this article on rtnews.com. Macron booed and told to step down during a parade in Paris. As you can see, these world leaders are falling in favor with their citizens all over the globe. On top of it all, I want to point out one last thing. There's also something that happened to a populist anti-global candidate. Take a look at this article here on BuzzFeedNews.com. World leaders express their shock and awe and sadness at Shinzo Abe's assassination. Now, Shinzo Abe was a very strong proponent of populism, and he was against globalization. And now, unfortunately, he has been assassinated. But either way, back to my initial question, why are all these resignations happening? Why are all these world leaders suddenly going down in the polls? One has to ask the question, is there more to the story? Well, I believe there are two responses to this. Number one, I think one response could be that they are cleaning out our leaders, that they are, well, that there is a sort of political castration going on. And maybe there is an actual revolution rising for the better of the globe. Or another alternative could be that, we are seeing globalists bring in a wave of meaner, more tyrannical dictators, unlike we have ever seen before. Now, ultimately, I'll let you decide which path we are on. But one interesting fact I want to point out is one of who I'm going to classify a tyrant and dictator and really radical leftist, Gavin Newsom, is now putting his head at the forefront, just in case he decides to run for president in 2024. Take a look at this article on NewYorkPost.com. Gavin Newsom spurs presidential run speculation with a major Florida ad buy. After all, Governor Newsom did visit Washington and raise more eyebrows after Joe Biden went to Israel. Is it just a coincidence that Gavin Newsom is sticking his head out there for presidential run? Ultimately, you decide. But either way, I believe there's more to the story. Is there some kind of revolution happening for the little guy? Or are the global leaders of the world ushering in a new, more tyrannical regime? With that, please don't forget to check me out at restrictedrepublic.com. We've got amazing information there that you absolutely have to check out, and I encourage you, go there and go there today. All right, love you guys. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.